wait for people to get in here. But before I talk about the scams, oh hey, how's it going? Hello. Alright, how have you been? Hope you're doing well. Alright, so let's talk about what is going on here. YouTube does this thing where you know, they sort of lie about stuff, and they run scams on channels of content creators that, you know, essentially they don't like. Kind of like there's probably a bunch of people in here right now, except it says 0 concurrence. This is very common. This is what they've been doing. We've been proving this for quite some time. So what they do is they run these scams where they remove views and remove all kinds of stuff where it would cause other people to, you know, find out what I'm saying and proving. And if you notice, all the streams conveniently that you know, when you talk about this, there's a lot less views on those streams. A ton less. And also, you also see the evidence where we bring up the live control room and stuff like that, and like we see 5 concurrents in the stream, and literally they're just not counting it. It literally just says on the graph below 4, and it never reaches 5 ever, not at any point. Like it's obvious that like there's scams being run there where you know, we can see them just not counting a certain amount of views pretty consistently. So what's going on too? What else is going on is any time I comment on my own stream, you know, I leave a comment of my own. What happens is they have this scam where they're basically running that if I leave a comment, this causes all views and all likes and anything that would cause the algorithm to promote the stream and get it higher in, you know, trending higher. It flashes this scam where everything's halted. Nothing is counted any longer. And this is what's been going on. Hello, everyone. This is what's been going on, and we just saw this on this past stream where, yeah, I was actually just watching the stream myself, doing various things, and didn't really have any problems. And I noticed that the views were going up, and I wanted to thank people for watching it. And as soon as I posted that comment, no lie, like literally the very second I posted this positive comment thanking everybody for liking it, I saw, like, the views were going up by the second. Like, it was going up a lot. And I just literally saw it completely halt. It just completely stopped. The likes stopped. And we're talking about something that was kind of, you know, gaining a lot of views. So, like, we can just see there, like, that's a very obvious thing. And then, you know, I obviously posted the other comment after that. But this is kind of what's been going on lately where, you know, even if it's a positive thing or something like that, they still, you know, go out of their way to start, like, removing views and, you know, kind of causing a problem for the stream and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what's been going on with this channel. Like I said, that last stream was going up in views quite a bit. It was gaining so many views, and then just all of a sudden, bam, just all the views. And again, on the stream the other night, we kind of proved that there was times where people were in the stream and they weren't counting those views. The stream sat there at like the same view count for like several hours, and it was obvious that people were in and out of the stream. We proved that. Like, the point is, like, you know, they're just, you know, there's so many times where we're in the stream, and then it just locks it at the views that it didn't count, and then they always say that they're going to update it, but then they don't. Like, they try to convince you that they're like, oh, it just didn't update. No, but like, it never does. Like, there's no views that it ever gains after that, and we see all these inconsistencies where there's plenty of times where we're seeing them not actually counting views. I've actually seen views getting subtracted while I was live. You know, we have that control room up, and we see actual views being subtracted while I'm live. That doesn't even make any sense. So, and there's times where people are actually chatting. There's somebody in chat saying that they've been there the whole stream, and then it says 0. The concurrence says 0, and then I call it out, and then conveniently, right as I call it out, then they update it to 1, and then other people have been kind of joining in and helping out a little bit. They'll kind of show up too, and they'll be watching too silently. I appreciate the ones that were sneaky about it recently. They kind of showed up at certain times and proved that they were watching too, and then YouTube sat there and updated the concurrence based on who they were seeing in the chat, and not based on actual like concurrence, like any actual data or anything like that. Like, it was very clear that they were trying to convince people that there was nobody in the stream, so the stream sits at the bottom of the feed and stuff like that, and just never trends and all that. This has been consistent. This has been happening to me for quite some time. And even when like I do like a trick, like some of the other people are doing to gain views and stuff like that, because it's happening to them too, maybe. And so like they do these tricks to get views. So I do that trick, and it conveniently works. But then they halt the views on that too. So like you guys saw me do the one thing, you know, where I was like, well, the swipe feed in 2025 is like, you know, and then, you know, I just have this loop thing of like me like falling over. It's like a joke, and so like the point is like that you know, like I've seen that sort of thing, and then no lie, like I got thousands of views off of this. Like, this was growing astronomically, and as soon as I finished this live, the views were completely halted. They just stopped. Dead stop. It doesn't even make any sense. It gets thousands of views while it's live, and then it's just a dead stop. How does that rationalize how that makes any sense? Rationalize, like, it gets thousands of views, you're even putting ads on it, and then you do a dead stop? That doesn't make any sense. So, like, this is what's been going on with the channel, where it's very clear that, like, we have a YouTube employee, somebody, you know, behind the scenes that just, you know, feels a certain type of way, or, you know, just been sitting there kind of screwing around and causing all these problems. And it's getting pretty bad. It's been going on for way too long. Yeah, the point is, like, think about how many other, you know, people watch me and say that, like, they watch, and you know, like, you guys have seen the numbers, and you guys have seen, you know, people keep coming back. We've got plenty of people that like watching and stuff like that. We see those concurrents, but then we don't see the evidence of them counting them later. And this is the consistent part. The sad part is the only consistent thing that I see from my channel is inconsistency. And it's not coming from this end, it's coming from YouTube's end. Where, you know, the more consistent I try to be with something, the more inconsistent YouTube is. and you know, they've just keep doing it. So again, like that was very obvious earlier when I, you know, that stream was growing astronomically, and all I did was post a comment thanking people for watching. Like, truthfully, I was just really happy that, you know, people were watching it. Somebody probably shared it, and I appreciate that. You know, so like that's kind of the point, is like, then they just halt the views, and that's unfortunate, man. So yeah, I figured I would talk to you guys a little bit, you know, just kind of organize the thoughts a little bit lately of what we've been seeing, and, you know, for some of the people, new people that are watching too, maybe follow the last stream and stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. You know, it's just obviously, like, there's a real, you know, issue going on here. I'll bet there's probably plenty of people in the stream now kind of hearing me out, listening to this even right now, but they're, you know, counting 1 and 2 concurrents, sort of, you know, and that's what we've been seeing, where they kind of lie. So basically, you know, if you guys could help me out, you know, like, the point is, like, the more you show up in numbers, the more they can't, they, you know, deny that, the more they can't. You know what I mean? Like, if you show them, like, in astronomical numbers, like I you know, you guys have been really supportive a lot, and I appreciate the numbers that I do get, but, you know, it's the sort of thing where, like, you get what I'm saying. If you actually show them with, like, the actual numbers, you know, they can only do so much. They got to accept it, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, kind of let you guys know what we've been seeing lately, and the scams they've been running lately. It was pretty obvious today, as I said. It has been cold and rainy lately. Like, it got warm there for a few days, and then, like, after the stream earlier, I just started feeling the allergies again. It's pretty crazy. This was rapid change in the you know, the humidity, the weather in general. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, hanging out, seeing what's up. I'm just sitting outside, obviously. Eating a snack. Eating a snack. Eating a snack. You subbed my stream. What does that mean? You subbed because of my stream? Thank you. Is that what you mean? I'm just gonna chat now. Thanks. Appreciate it. Again, I'm just kind of talking about, you know, some of the stuff I've seen lately and what's been going on, so you guys know. Eating a snack. It's like full cloud cover now. Can you guys see the steam? It's like a haunted squirrel. Ooh. Ooh. Well, check you over. Let's see. The devil's sons of the east will thrive. Time short. Let whom who have understanding reckon the number of the beast. What is a human number? Number 666. I left alone. My mind was blank. Can I believe what I saw that night was real and not just fantasy? And just what I saw in my dreams. One's in reflection, a woman staring back at me. And in my dreams, she's always there. It's my mind and bring me to despair. Night was black, there's no use holding back. I just had to see someone watching me. In the mist, my fingers moved and twisted. Was all this for real, or just some crazy hell? Sex, the number of the beast. Fire, on to be released. Oh, good old Iron Maiden. Some people are like crazy about some of those types of bands, which is awesome. I ended up finding out about like Iced Earth and Blind Guardian and stuff because of that. Neat stuff. Greatest heavy metal song of all time is Crazy Train. Greatest metal song of all time is Crazy Train. Period. You don't need to really think about it. It's something everybody can kind of get behind, I think. I know you, like, everyone wants to say like Stairway to Heaven, but like I feel like, is that really a metal song? Like, are you, like, I don't know, like, yeah, like, it's by a metal band, but, like, I don't know, like, it's just not what I consider the greatest metal song of all time. You know, like, Crazy Train, like, it's the sort of thing where it's so synonymous with so many people. Like, people hear Stairway to Heaven, some people would actually, honestly, probably have no idea what that is. And then, like, not only that, like, you just hear, all aboard! I mean, you hear that, who immediately doesn't think of the next part? Like, you immediately just start bobbing your head and want to, you know, dance around or bob your head. I mean, it is. There's just no question, man. It's so recognizable. It's so heavy. It's Ozzy too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want? Randy. Yeah, I mean, like, what more do you want? It's like, it's perfection. I mean, it's just my opinion. You guys can, I mean, you're welcome to whatever opinion, you know, whatever is your, of course, your opinion of the greatest metal song of all time. That's whatever. You know, again, I'm not saying what my favorite metal song of all time is. I'm saying what I think the greatest metal song of all time is. I'm saying what I just personally think is the greatest. Yeah, just like considering culture, what everybody listens to. Again, I just think it's Crazy Train. It's just like, that's why I think that, like, you know, still one of, if not some of the greatest pop songs of all time, still belong to Michael Jackson, just because he combined the genres where you had real good musicians playing instruments, but it's pop music. I mean, you know, you realize that Beat It was Eddie Van Halen, right? Beat It was Eddie Van Halen, and that's why it was good. Well, not why, but it was half the reason. The other half being Michael Jackson, obviously. The man was a perfectionist. And so, you know, you just have somebody that you know, like, obviously had an ear for music, one of the greatest dancers of all time, so obviously you're just gonna have somebody that's a perfectionist about what he wants to put together on an album then too. And he's gonna work with the best people. You know? And so, yeah, like, it just, I remember Orianthi was gonna be his guitarist for the This Is It tour too, and she's phenomenal. Orianthi did a thing with Steve Vai. That's amazing. Go look it up. It's like Steve Vai, Orianthi. It's just like a musical thing that they both did, and it's freaking phenomenal. It's just music. It's just them playing guitar. I mean, there's drums and stuff, but like, it's phenomenal. It's really good. Orianthi is a phenomenal guitarist. She's amazing. She's so relaxed. Trust me, phenomenal. We get to actually use that word too. She is phenomenal. And she is incredibly relaxed. She's playing. It's just like effortless, you know. I mean, her focus is intense. You can tell. She has an incredible focus, but she is so relaxed. So yeah, like, yeah, she's phenomenal. There's no question. Undeniable talent there. And then, you know, obviously her doing something with Steve Vai, that says something. You know, obviously it's Steve Vai, the legendary Steve Vai. The legendary Steve Vai. White Snake was amazing. Here I Go Again. Here I Go Again is definitely up there. It's like, you know, it's definitely on the list of top metal songs. I don't know. I know what it means to walk along the lonely street of dreams. Do 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 do. Here I go again on my own. Do do do. Going down the only road I've ever known. Do 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 do. Drifter I was born to walk alone. Do 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 do. I made up my mind. Do 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 do. Wasting no more time. Here I go again. Here I go again. I
I keep searching for it. Never seem to find what I'm looking for. Oh man, that's good. That's good. Search for an answer. I don't know what key it's in. I don't remember what key it's in. But a lot of white snake. You know who else people like don't recognize anymore and they should? No, not that they don't recognize them, but like I just feel like not like they're not on the radio as much as they used to be. They like suggested and stuff like that for people and stuff that they need to be. So maybe I'll have to start talking about them a bit more. ZZ Top. ZZ Top. I mean, that's some incredible guitar work, man. Like, if you actually like sit down and listen to some of that, it was really well done, controlled, but difficult guitar work. If you actually sit down and listen to it, it's like, oh wow, these guys are really good. And it sounds good too. Like, I mean, obviously it sounds good. Obviously with ZZ Top, that's the dance metal. You know, like, yeah, you can bob your head to it too. That's what was cool about ZZ Top. But you know, that's the dance metal, man. You're gonna dance around a little bit to that. You're gonna sweat. You're gonna bob. Going to not worried cause my wallet's back. Come running just as fast as they can. Girl, got a short dress, baby. Do 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 do. Now, if we're talking piano, I still like Zach, obviously. I still like Zach Wild, but like Billy Joel's my guy. Like the amount of music I listen to that has piano and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I listen to Zach obviously all the time, but like aside from that, like Billy Joel for sure. But yeah, Billy Joel is great. I mean, obviously Piano Man. But you guys know I mentioned a song called Angry Young Man a lot. That one's really good. Good, really good drums on there. I mean, just everything's really good. And there's the harmonica, right? You know what I started watching again? A childhood TV show I used to watch. I started watching, you remember the show Hercules with like Kevin Sorbo? I actually really liked it. Even though like the fighting was just like completely ridiculous, I actually still really liked it. I thought it was still a pretty entertaining show. But it was mainly the characters. Like, the characters were just so cool, and the cast was phenomenal. Did you know that Carl Urban was in that? Did you know Carl Urban was Cupid? I forgot about that. Like, just actors now that play totally different roles. He's Billy Butcher in The Boys. He's like literally like the lead guy there. He's one of the most gruesome ones. And he was Cupid. It's amazing. I love it. And he played an excellent Cupid. I really actually remember that too. Like, it was really good. And did you know that there was another Kevin Smith in that show too? Not like Kevin Smith, the writer-director, but Kevin Smith, the guy that played Hades. Or, I'm sorry, Ares. He played Ares. And I thought he was really good too. I thought it was really cool. And I liked that, like, they did, like, he was a likable character, so they kind of had, like, Ares sort of become, like, this sort of good guy a little bit. It was kind of cool. But that didn't happen until the crossovers with Xeno and stuff. Because I used to watch Xeno too, like Lucy Lawless and all that. But if you remember, there was a character that was like the comic relief, and his name was Joxer. And he was super funny, and he had like his theme songs and everything. Joxer the mighty, he's very tidy. You know, like things like that. Like, he just, like, completely ridiculous. And, like, he was just a buffoon, basically. He would just get into trouble all the time, and they would have to save him. He was typically, though, I think he was on Xena, not Hercules. But he was also on Hercules. He did cross over for the crossovers, and so those shows ended up crossing over a lot. And did you know that, what was his name? Ted, right? Was his name Ted Raimi? I'm pretty sure that was just Sam Raimi's other brother. Don't they have, like, all these brothers, like, in the show business? I'm pretty sure, because Harold Raimi, Sam Raimi, you know, Harold Raimi, obviously Egon from Ghostbusters, the beloved Harold Raimi, obviously, and Sam Raimi, the director of the Spider-Man movies, and director of, like, the Bruce Campbell movies with, like, Evil Dead and you know, all that, and also, you know, most recently, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, all that stuff, you know, and then again, I think he's their brother. He's their other brother. It was just Ted Raimi that played the comic relief Joxer in Xena, Warrior Princess. I'm pretty sure that was, because he looked just like him. I mean, come on, he looks just like him. He looks just like Sam Raimi. Harold Raimi looked a little bit different than those two, but he looks just like Sam Raimi. But yeah, man, so it's just, the characters were great. Hercules, The Legendary Journey? Something like that. And his sidekick is Aeolus. His name is Aeolus. But I mean, like, it was again, it's very cheesy 90s fight choreography. Like, it's I mean, just flat out stuff that's kind of laughable at times, but like, it's okay, it's fine. You don't watch it for that. You watch it for the characters. And, like, to see the interesting, like, what they do with, like, the different abilities and stuff that all the different gods and stuff have, because they have, like, all the different gods and stuff. Oh, on the show. The idea is that it's like, if you've played the game Hades, it's basically like that story, except if you were Hercules instead of Hades. It's sort of kind of like that. It really is sort of kind of like that. Where like Hera is like the bad one. And like not everybody's really, actually there's a lot of gods that really aren't that bad. And Hercules is you know, sort of like Hades in that game is kind of well liked. People help him out, people like him. He's just a very likable guy. But Kevin Sorbo was a great actor. I liked him on Andromeda too. He was good. Great actor. I mean, it does, like, again, like the point, the whole reason we liked the show was for him. And he looked the part too. Like, that guy got freaking huge. And he was huge the whole time. Like, respect. Like, you talk about all these guys that do it now, like, I get it. It's pretty competitive and a lot of guys do it now, but I mean, he was doing it way back then too. And doing it right. You know, like, you can tell he wasn't like on anything. It was just all natural, you know, like he was just lifting, man. No, and just it was a really cool camaraderie they had, like him and Eolus on the show. Sort of like Xena had what's her sidekick's name? She had one too. She had a sidekick too, but a woman sidekick. She had a staff. But yeah, Hercules was really cool, really good. Xena was good too, but like I still like Xena. I did. I feel like, I don't know, I just there was just something about Hercules too that like was just really cool. But I thought it was funny that you know, oftentimes the show followed some sort of like a kind of humorous route. Like they tried to, like Bruce Campbell was on the show. Like literally Bruce Campbell, who did he play? He was a character. Bruce Campbell was literally on the show. Like, I just thought that was so cool. Oh man, I know it was somebody like really. His character was awesome too. Why am I being so stupid about this? I think it was because he was on Xena more, and I haven't gotten to that yet. Maybe I should just start watching Xena again instead. Because I'm through. I don't know. I'm somewhere like in season 2, I think. But like I started Hercules again. It's just, you know, it's an easy show to watch. But with Xena, like I said, it has like a lot of those cool characters in addition to the ones from Hercules, and there's crossovers between a lot of the characters until eventually, you know, they did an episode with Hercules crossover on Xena. I think that's what they did first. I think they did it on Xena first. Where she ran into her, like she was in some, like I think you're in trouble, something. I don't remember. And Hercules showed up. I don't remember. But they would have a little thing, a little back and forth. Sort of hinted at that. But yeah, like they had a bunch of the gods and goddesses. They had Aphrodite. Aphrodite was one regular. I think I said Ares. Good show. You said it. Kevin Sorbo is a good actor. He deserves. Yeah, I mean, like, cred for that. Like I said, he was big for that role. I mean, the guy's tall. The guy's a big dude, but he was still, you know, the part. And like I said, a lot of the charm of the show was just really in, you know, camaraderie and them kind of using like modern day things and incorporated it into the writing, you know, for that show. Like almost like they would kind of like have their own modern day things that they would, like there was this one episode where they just created the Olympics and they even called it that. But I mean, obviously, like, you know, like that, you know, we know, you know, Hercules obviously didn't create the Olympics, like obviously. So like it's just cool that like they incorporate that in the show and like just like some, you know, just some other modern things and stuff when it's, you know, a show with like, you know, swords and shields and armor and horsebacks and, you know, that sort of thing. A medieval show, if you will. But yeah, anyway, Hercules is great. Dean was great. And like I said, Bruce Campbell, I can't think of who his character was. It bothers me now. But yeah, he was a regular character. I love that in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, they had him possessed. Like, remember Doctor Strange cast a spell on his hand? Remember that? Oh, that was kind of cool. Because remember, that was the whole point in Evil Dead. Remember, his hand got possessed and he had to cut it off. That's why in Army of Darkness, he attached a chainsaw to the hand that didn't have or the arm that didn't have a hand. Because in Evil Dead, previous movie, you know that was a sequel, right? The previous movie, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness was the sequel. And so that was the point, was in Evil Dead. His hand got possessed and it was like trying to, like, you know, kill him, and then he had to slice it off. And so that was the joke, was that Doctor Strange, of all things that he could have done to him, he chose to, he was like punching himself in the face, right? It's funny. But also Sam Raimi put his car in the movie. That one car that he puts in like all his movies. It was like flying through the air in the beginning, with like the whole Beholder thing. Somewhere around that scene. I actually enjoyed that movie. I liked it. And I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi is directing the next one too. I'm actually kind of excited to see where it goes. No, he is. And don't freak out about it. He is, and don't freak out about it, because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was actually a good movie. People need to accept that. It was actually good. Like, I was extremely entertained all the way through. I've watched it multiple times, by the way. And there's plenty of other Marvel movies, modern Marvel movies, I haven't. I have watched that one 4 or 5 times. And there's plenty of them that I haven't. I've watched like one time. Multiverse of Madness has a little bit of a continuity glitch. That's it. It's just a little bit of a continuity error. But also, I mean, these things happen. Sam Raimi admitted to being ignorant to WandaVision, the events of WandaVision. So like you just have to kind of let that go a little bit. If you like the movie, just at least give it a chance. You just watch the movie and try to I just don't understand how that can ruin the whole movie for you. And other people that told me they didn't like it, they said they didn't like that Wanda became a bad guy. Like I don't like that. That's what they were getting out of that. Like the whole point was that he didn't watch that, so why is she a bad guy? No, like that. What? No, like she was always destined to be a bad guy. Like that's the point. Like like she was always destined to, essentially become the Scarlet Witch. So like if she's always destined to become the Scarlet Witch, what are you complaining about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you complaining about? Like we all knew she was gonna become the Scarlet Witch. We knew that was the outcome. And then these are supposedly comic nerds that know all these things and stuff like that, and they're complaining. Like, what? And then they complain about the fact, well, alright, well, that was just the Illuminati scene where we got all those characters, those cool characters, but then they killed them off. It's like, what did you expect? They said the timeline was doomed. The whole point was that they were always going to be doomed to be not very good and not the best versions of themselves. That was the point of that. So I actually thought it was kind of brilliant that Mr. Fantastic came in there and actually just gave Scarlet Witch the answer to how to take out Black Bolt, because that's the point. Is most people in that situation that aren't Scarlet Witch would kind of just be mad and not even maybe think of that and just kind of get mad and lash out or something. No, the whole point was that she's Scarlet Witch and that's who she's destined to be, and she very calmly and collectedly listened to that and went, oh, thanks. And the whole point was did what she did. So I actually thought that was calculated, and I thought it was interesting writing. I just think people really liked that Black Bolt. I really do. I really think that people really liked those characters and wanted to see like an Illuminati show or something, and that was all it was that they actually liked it. But then we're depressed that all of them died. Because yeah, that was really cool. And we got obviously Agent Carter as Captain Britain. That was so cool. Obviously, like her becoming Cap instead. This is so cool, obviously. And then, obviously Patrick Stewart is Xavier, finally in the MCU. That was freaking amazing too. Like obviously that was also super cool. But you also have to remember Patrick Stewart's one of my favorite actors, and even I was okay with all of that and had to accept the fact that happened. Like it was hard. It was hard to see that and hard to do, but yeah. I agreed with it, and the whole point was it was supposed to be dark. Like that's what Sam Raimi does, and I thought it was good. I really did, and I thought it was again on point that Mr. Fantastic made that stupid mistake, because again he's not the best version of himself. He's supposed to be Mr. Fantastic, except he's kind of not. He's got an ego, so he comes out and he says, Black Bolt can destroy you with just one thing of his mouth. Oh, yeah, that's what an ego would do. So he's not Mr. Fantastic. He's the ego version of Mr. Fantastic. The one that uses Ultron. Did you catch that little... Yeah, those little sentries mentioned the fact when they were malfunctioning that it was like some sort of Ultron initiative or something like that. The point is, they were not the people that made the best decisions. And they even stated that they killed their own Strange because of what he did. They didn't imprison him, they didn't, you know what I mean? Like, take his magic or do something to make sure he doesn't use it again. Like, they didn't help him. After he helped them and stuff, get rid of Thanos, all that, they didn't find some way to reconcile. No, they just killed him. So, like, the point is, you have to realize, I thought that was actually good writing. The whole point is to show that Illuminati is terrible. That's not what you do. And that's not if Cap were there, he'd be ashamed. He'd be like, we don't trade lives. You know, there's got to be another way. You know, we can find a way to help Strange instead of just killing him. You know, like, he would step in. You know Cap would. He would not tolerate that. This is not the Avengers. This is the Illuminati. And they're not perfect. And the point is, yeah, they do things like that. And that's what Xavier realized. And he also realized they would die, and they would be fools. And he realized that Strange, standing in front of them, was not. He was better than them. He was smarter than them, because he had gotten to that point. And remember the powers that Xavier has, too. He knew what was going to happen. Yeah, he kind of basically could see what was going to happen, was preparing for it, and even kind of giving him a little tip on, you know, essentially how to make it go smoothly. That was the whole point. And yeah, and then he antagonized the other guy that didn't like him in the first movie, because of course he was on the council too. This was so good. I thought it was brilliant. I really did. I really thought the movie was excellent. You can sit here and be upset that he got some little weird continuity thing at the beginning with you know, the way everything looked, but I still don't understand what people's problem was with that, because the point was she had the Darkhold. She'll make it look how she wants. The whole point was that she was trying to fool Strange into thinking that she, like, I don't know, had this fucking orchard or something that she was caring for. So, you know, like, the whole point was to... But that's the mistake that she made, is essentially thinking that Strange was a fool. Because he's not. You know, the whole point was that Strange immediately knew, the moment he got there, that something wasn't right, that what he was seeing was fake. He knows those things. He can sort of tell. You know, that's the point. And he has, you know, obviously some magic sensing abilities and stuff like that. But he's no fool. That's the point. Strange is, you know, one of those really smart ones in the MCU, too. At least that version of him is. And you have to realize that that's what he recognized the moment he arrived. And the line of questioning, even between the two, you can kind of tell he sort of knew already. You know, like one of the first things he says to her, you can kind of tell. It's sort of like kind of under the radar a little bit, but you can, oh, okay, he knows, you know, and eventually that's the point. She reveals that she is using the Darkhold in that, you know, scene. She just finally realizes that he knows that it's not what it is, so she just undoes the spell, and remember, it's all just fucking burnt away to nothing. And then that's when she makes her demands, and she reveals that she's the one that sent the Beholder, and she's after America Chavez, and yada yada yada. That's her name, right? Anyway, and I thought her powers actually were kind of cool. I did. She opens like this star portal, and it's multi-dimensional. Like, that's cool. I want to see what they do with this. And she's also the single only one. So I want to hear what their explanation for that is. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, obviously they sort of explained it. The idea was that originally she was in this place, and she, like a bee landed on her, and the idea is she didn't know how to use her power, but she would get upset, and it would just trigger the power. So that's what happened. She had parents, and it triggered the portal when a bee landed on her when she was a kid, and it sucked her parents in, but not her. But that doesn't really explain why she's still the only one in the multiverse, why there's nobody else like her, why she's literally the only one in all the other universes and stuff like that, where there's, you know, different versions of everybody. There isn't with her. She's the only singular one. I think they're gonna. I hope they. I hope. I don't know. I feel like they need to explain it with Deadpool maybe, to break the third wall. You know what I'm saying? Isn't she a new character? I think that's like honestly the real reason. For continuity's sake, I think it's because she's a new character. I think she's like. I don't think like she's that old of a character, so I think that's probably why they wanted to like put her in somewhere. And if you're gonna do it right, that would make sense. Where essentially she never existed until she did. And then you could use Deadpool to explain that because he breaks the third wall. You know, you just like make it as a joke or something, or he just cracks a joke about it. You know, oh well, they just wanted to, you know, throw some new characters in there or something like that. You know how Marvel likes to pump out 3 new characters a year to meet a quota or something. I don't know. He could just make some fucking wisecrack at Marvel like he always does. I'm excited for Cavalry. Henry Cavill was anyway, I was excited for the, you know, like, to see Henry Cavill play Wolverine in a whole movie. That'll be cool. I mean, I don't know when it's actually gonna happen, because he's like, I think he's working on a lot of stuff. I know he's doing his Warhammer show. That's his project too. And I think he's working on something incognito. And that's all I'm gonna say. Because it's just rumor, so I'm not gonna. But I think everybody's gonna be surprised when they see who he's actually gonna play next. Because I think Hollywood's starting to kind of wise up and give the actors that deserve the roles, you know what I mean? They slept on him for so long. That upset me. That I was not happy that he didn't get his due. Man of Steel didn't get its due. I thought that was a damn near perfect movie. And then again, you just had some stupid decisions by, you know, investors and stuff, people higher up. Which of course you can see, you know, which leads, you know, I think these actors to start kind of doing their own thing and develop their own shows and, you know, start trying to produce and direct themselves and stuff, where they can make sure that, you know, nothing happens that, you know, they really don't approve of, that will mess up what they've worked so hard to make good. You know, you know, it's a travesty what happened with The Witcher. It really is. Henry Cavill made that show. And that's the point, is like, nobody even gave him credit until he got cast for that show. And that's what irritated me, is like, he was so good in so many things prior to that. That's where people noticed him finally. And great, I'm glad that they did, but you know, that's the point, is you have to rationalize when you're seeing politics and you're seeing a lot of stuff. You're seeing people that are like the richest people in the world, and you're wondering why they care at all what gamers think. You shouldn't wonder. That's a perfect example. Because that's the point. You know, like, he didn't get his due. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, sure, he was still, you know, getting jobs and stuff like that, but trust me, he really didn't get the credit he deserved. And now he does. And again, that happened after, I think a good bit of that happened after The Witcher, where you just had that video game, that gamer audience, you know, because The Witcher is what it is. Man, people are really weird. Not you guys. Not you guys. Just some people. So I'm talking about supporters. I'm just talking about certain people. People are so weird around here. I mean, I shouldn't say that. People are nice too, but some of the things I've seen lately. Disgusting. Again, not you guys. Not you guys. Should I tell you what I've seen lately? I feel like people think that I don't have eyes or something. I feel like people think that, like, I can't, you know, like I just can't see or something like that. Like, you know, just like everybody is the same and doesn't have, like, really good eyesight or something. And like from their perspective, you know, they think that they can't be seen. But meanwhile, some people have such good eyesight, trust me. I can see every weird fucking thing that you're doing. And it's really weird. Again, not my supporters, but certain people like to, we'll just say, use binoculars. We'll put it like that, if that makes sense. And, like, again, like, I feel like they think that, like, I can't see. You know, like, I don't have, like, eyes or something. So weird. Still, like, just complete cloud cover and stars, unfortunately. That would be nice. Some are weird. So what's the what's the questions? Like, I'm just confused why everybody's asking what was happening. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, I've done these plenty of times at this point where you guys should just kind of get used to the fact that we're just sitting outside talking. Like, I don't understand why anybody doesn't get what's happening at this point. Yeah, I mean, like, we've done enough of these now to know that we're just sitting here talking in a hot tub. So, like, what... Yeah, I mean, like, I don't understand what the question is, and, like, why people always come in and they're, like, acting like it's, like, kind of weird or something. You know what I mean? Like, these people do that. That's what trolls do. You know what I mean? Like, what... Like this last... Like, the very last chat that we saw was, by somebody named Drip. And then, you know, like, somebody else in here, what is happening? And, you know, like, we've seen this before, and fair enough, but, like, is it really that much of a mystery? That's why I showed you the water at the beginning, so you know it was a hot tub. I mean, usually I put the little hot tub sticker on the screen, but... I mean, it's just like a lot of the other streams where I sit and I just talk. You know what I mean? No difference. Halfy, like, there's I mean, like, you'd be surprised, there's like 200, 300 concurrents that watch some guy walk around outside and stare at his feet for hours too every night. So I mean, you know, I mean, like the point is, it's more about, like, the person, like, just listening to dialogue and stuff. I think people just, you know, like I said, it's an attention span thing where people expect there to be just immediate visual stimulation with everything, and you know, almost nothing is dialogue, or, you know, just people have real tough time listening to extended, you know, lengths of talking. I think it's understandable. I mean, like, again, you especially if you grew up in this internet world, but, you know, it's always good to resist that. And a lot of the way I did it was, you know, again, watching Kevin Smith movies, where, you know, he's a really, really good writer, director, that just a lot of his movies are extended scenes of long dialogue, and, you know, a lot of the time it's pretty literate stuff. You know, it's not just swear words and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, obviously it is. You know, obviously you still have your Jay and Silent Bob, and you still have your characters like that, but, you know, between all that, you know, there's some really, really, really good writing there, and some really important messages too, I think, for young people growing up, that, you know, there's a lot of times where people do these things with their lives, I think, where they do, like, a bunch, like, they just kind of act stupid because they're confused about a bunch of things. Does that make sense? Do you ever know somebody like that? Like, they don't quite know how something works, and so they just kind of, like, I don't know, like, just chasing Amy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ben Affleck and chasing Amy. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that, like, you know, he was able to create this ingenious script, you know, about confusion, about, you know, a couple of people that were, you know, confused. about their identity, you know, and just what they were going through in their lives, and it was mainly just, you know, because of that one person that was confused, and so, like, you just like there's a lot that can be learned, you know, from watching that, and then also, like I said, like the extended scenes of dialogue where it's just easier for somebody's brain to absorb when it's visual, you know, people acting versus you know, just kind of listen to somebody and listen to a podcast or something like that. Highly recommend it, just because, like I said, these are really good movies, really well written stuff anyway, and it's extremely entertaining anyway. Like, you'll laugh your ass off. I mean, you'll be laughing your ass off in the first few minutes. Jason Lee too. I mean, Jason Lee is phenomenal. He's in it too. But yeah, like that was one of his earlier movies. Dogma was really good. But you know, Chasing Amy was excellent. Mallrats, awesome. Obviously Clerks. Clerks 2 is... I like Clerks 2 a little bit better. Just because, like, it was funnier. But I mean, I like them both a lot. Both the original ones. Clerks 3 was good too. It was good. He just had so many good movies. And you know that Kevin Smith helps, like, with comics and stuff now, right? You know that, right? He's actually kind of been doing that for a while now. Yeah, like, Marvel has been consulting him for a while now. And, I mean, he's the comic guy. Like, he's got plenty of shows for this. He's got a show, he runs... Like, that was the whole point, was, what was it, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, right? Wasn't it that movie where they finally go to the comic store that is run by the guys that are the characters in Chasing Amy, but now it's like years later, and it's Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, and they go and visit the, right? Because it's the same character, right? I think that's the idea. Because they knew him from back then, so they went and visited him to ask him about, so if he could use his internet, right? And Jason Biggs also had a cameo. Jay and Silent Bob, because they made fun of American Pie, and it was amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, American Pie, those are some quality movies. Those are quality movies, man. Highly entertaining. Highly entertaining. And I mean, like, that's real life, man. That's what it's just get a group of guys together. I mean, like, that's real life. And I actually liked the second one. I liked American Wedding too. I thought it was beautiful. I did actually think that's the way I would describe the movie too. I thought it was beautiful. And you wouldn't think to describe an American Pie movie that way. But no, truthfully, like, Steve Stifler was, like, always this kind of annoying character, and then, like, by the third movie, they were just sort of kind of done with him. You know, like, and the whole point was that he was getting married. You know, he was finally getting married to the band geek, and it was, like, big. It was big, you know, everybody was looking forward to this movie, and, like, and then, you know, everybody in the movie, you know, like, they brought, like, everybody back and everything, and so the whole point was, you know, Stifler had to, like, he really screwed up in this, like, again. And he had to redeem himself.
And I thought it was actually beautiful how they did it. I really did. I really thought it was. I thought, you know, it's the sort of thing where, like, it gives you a look at somebody that kind of is like that, and shows you kind of, you know, how to, you know, how they, you know, how to kind of deal with it, like, if they can redeem themselves, you know, you give them a chance, you know, because sometimes people just mess up, you know. And that's kind of how Stifler, that's the whole point, that was how he was, you know. He just kept screwing up. But the point was, like, you know, they're the only friends he's got, you know. He doesn't really have anybody else, you know. And so he had to redeem himself a little bit. And again, I just thought it was beautiful how they did that. I don't want to spoil too much, but no, American Wedding was really good. American Reunion was good too. I like that one too. I was genuinely entertained by the ones that included the original cast. Any other ones were, in my opinion, just awful. I did not enjoy them at all. I thought they were forced. I thought it was just, you know, kind of like redoing scenes from the original movies and stuff, like just repackaging it for the new generation. That's all. And, like, that's fine, like, for the new generation, if they want to like it and watch it, and whatever, that's fine. I just didn't think it was that good, in my opinion, because, again, you're just kind of redoing the same thing. So I'll just go ahead and watch the ones with the original cast and enjoy those more. I loved in the first one how Oz was like this badass lacrosse player, but then Stifler would like come in there and make fun of him for singing in the was he like in chorus or something like that? Like that was the whole point. Like, and then, you know, like the whole point was to make the choice in the end of what he cared about the most, you know, and whether it was the girl or if it was lacrosse. You know, I thought that was a cool thing they did for his character too. You know, like just like that's what I'm talking about, is like just things like that where you kind of figure some things out, you know, like about yourself with stuff like this. If you're somebody that's hasn't figured it out yet, I guess. But no, like that. You know, the point is just, you know, it has those really good storytelling and you know, really funny scenes, like the whole Nadia scene. So, like, obviously you can't replace. You know, you can't replace. You know, how awkward and brilliantly awkward his dad was. Oh, wow, what was the actor's name? And then, like, they had this, you know, obviously he was in American Wedding a lot more then too, because he was getting married. I thought that was, you can't replace that. There's no replacement for how good some of that was. Just like the awkward moments where he walks in the room and he finds the magazine and well, what's this we have here? You know, like, it just, he's so perfectly awkward. That guy is just such a good actor. He really is so underrated. He's such a good actor. Anyway, I'm gonna call it there. Thanks for listening to my
rant about YouTube, letting you guys know what was going on, but I also figured I'd give you a little chat, talk about some stuff too, since y'all tuned in and gave me some views. I appreciate that. Figured I would at least talk a little bit to you guys instead of just giving you a rant about what's been going on with YouTube. But yeah, that's the gist of it. I mean, that stuff really is going on, and it's unfortunate to see, because you guys show up to give me the support and they just, you know, take away your legitimate views, and it's not right. But anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.